Part 96. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 951. Xiao Xian said it in one sentence. Instantly caught the attention of Lin Xiaoqing and Ling Yun. Both of them are well-known young masters in the Mingzhou territory. In these years, they have rarely encountered opponents below 3 stars in the Blue God realm. As for the name Xiao Xian, they have never even heard of it. At this moment, I saw that Xiao Xian could be so arrogant. They all looked a little unconvinced. What an arrogant person. Our senior brothers have been in Mingzhou territory for so many years, but we have never seen such an arrogant person. Lin Xiao is a fair-skinned, tall, and thin young man. There was a sarcasm on his rather handsome face. At this moment, he was looking at Xiao Xian with disdain. In his opinion, Xiao Xian was just a stupid young man who didn't know the heights of the world. As long as he takes action, you can suppress the opponent at will. As he spoke, a huge cloud of mist gradually rose up from his body and enveloped Xiao Xian. For a while, thick and moist cloudy air. It actually slowly began to erode Xiao Xian's body. What Lin Xiao practiced turned out to be the way of clouds and mists in nature, and he also used illusory clouds and mists as a means of attack. This actually surprised Xiao Xian secretly. Clouds, fog, and rain are all natural. If an ordinary cultivator chooses to practice such a great way, most of them will just enter a dynasty as an official and pray for rain and snow for the people in Kintian prison. This is also their role. But there are few people like Lin Xiao who can fight against the enemy with the power of nature, and his strength is not weak. Cloud slash. Seeing Xiao Xian not caring, Lin Xiao also had a sneer on his face. Most people think that his cloud and mist skills are nothing great, but as everyone knows, his cloud and mist cultivation is extremely profound. You can even use the clouds and mist as a sword to kill your opponent by surprise. Now on the surface, he just covered Xiao Xian with clouds and mist. It seemed harmless, but in fact it contained murderous intentions. In thick clouds and fog. In fact, there is a sharp cloud blade hidden inside. If Xiao Xian still doesn't care, this invisible cloud blade will cut his throat without ceremony. At this moment, Xiao Xian looked indifferent. Lin Xiao also flashed a hint of sinisterness on his face. Despise him. You have to pay the price. The cloud blade suddenly appeared, and before Xiao Xian could react, it went straight to Xiao Xian's throat at an extremely fast speed. This scene. But it surprised everyone in the meeting hall. They knew that Lin Xiao was not weak, but they didn't expect that he would be so vicious. Is it a killing move? Xiao Xian, be careful. Zhang Fulong was a little anxious. Originally, when he knew that Lin Xiao and Qing Lingyun, 2 3-star strong men in the Blue God realm, had been recruited by Long Quan, I felt a little uneasy. Now, I didn't expect that Lin Xiao would be so vicious. It was such a sharp killing move as soon as it was launched. He was worried that Xiao Xian would not be able to catch such a fierce move. At the same time, Long Quan and other elders were all smiling, and they all looked at Lin Xiao with satisfied expressions on their faces. Compared with the stronger one, but not easy to control, Gu Leng, Lin Xiao and Qing Lingyun were more obedient. If they could defeat Xiao Xian, they would even kill Xiao Xian in public. Then Zhang Fulong will undoubtedly lose his reputation in Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. By the time, if Lin Xiao and the others defeat the contestants from other sects, they will gain control of the Purple Qi Spirit Mine for Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. He is even more unqualified to distribute this spiritual mine. Since then, how will he compete with them in the future for the position of president of Wanjin Chamber of Commerce? While thinking about it, Long Quan and others even began to look forward to how to deal with Zhang Fulong in the future. However, at this moment, Gu Leng was looking at Xiao Xian with interest. Only he feels it. There seemed to be something different about Xiaoxian in front of him. The cloud mist blade is very fast. Almost instantly, it penetrated Xiaoxian's throat. But the strange thing is, after this sharp cloud blade penetrated Xiaoxian's throat, not a drop of blood spurted out from the latter's neck. Then, Xiaoxian's figure appeared behind Lin Xiao like a ghost. A big hand waved out. He directly pinched Lin Xiao's neck and threw him to the ground. In an instant, the meeting hall, which had been shrouded in mist just now, became clean. Lin Xiao was subdued by Xiaoxian with one move. This really surprised everyone present. At this moment, Xiaoxian defeated Lin Xiao. All of them had surprise and shock on their faces. Qing Lingyuan also ran over quickly and helped him up. Pretty. There are some tricks. You can lock your opponent's position at will. He saw his senior brother falling to the ground. However, now, Gu Leng wants to see if Xiaoxian has any other means besides his excellent body skills. With Xiaoxian here. As long as he wants. If Xiaoxian hadn't held back, he might have been a corpse now. He is no match for Xiaoxian. But he also understood that Xiaoxian had shown mercy just now. Interesting. He has fought against many masters, but this is the first time he has seen Xiaoxian's ghostly and agile movements. On the other hand, Gu Leng looked at Xiaoxian with strange eyes, and the corner of his mouth was a little more cold, strong. His favorite thing is to kill strong men. Although he is angry, it is enough to show that he is not a mascot with no role in the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. This, can Xiaoxian's speed be so fast? If Xiaoxian only had great movement skills, it would have no effect. Zhang Fulong was worried at first, but now he is full of surprises. What he cultivates is the way of the soul, and any body technique in the world seems to be nothing in front of him. It's surprising that the plan was implemented in such a short period of time. Everyone looked at each other. After seeing all this, Gu Leng silently nodded. But for him, not even a Dharma image. But if you just have a strong identity, you're just a mouse who can only avoid it. Being embarrassed in front of so many people, Lin Xiao's face was filled with anger, and he wanted to rush forward and fight Xiaoxian directly. Not only did it embarrass Long Quan and others, but more importantly, it also made him lose face. Use a shadow to confuse the opponent, and then find a chance to attack with your real body. Could it be that Xiaoxian already knows the opponent's attack method? Good physical skills. But the scene just now did make him a little scared. Gu Leng walked forward, with a bit of a grin on his face, and looked at Xiaoxian. I don't know, do you dare to fight me? Xiaoxian, what a trick. Only then did they notice that what was cut off by the sharp blade of cloud and mist just now was just a shadow of Xiaoxian. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 952. As soon as Bone Cold appears, Xiaoxian's face became a little more interested. In fact, when they met, he had already discovered that among the three Lin Xiaos, the strongest one should be Gu Leng. This guy looks skinny and has a yellowish complexion. Not amazing in appearance. But there is a kind of magical soul fluctuation in him. Just standing there can't help but make people feel invisible. This guy takes the initiative to provoke. Xiaoxian had no fear at all, he just sneered, who are you? Why do you want to fight me? Take people's money and help them eliminate disasters. That's all. Finished in one sentence. Gu Leng's body was like a flying sword, coming straight towards Xiaoxian, and at the same time, a cold soul breath was released. The temperature of the meeting hall dropped a bit. This scene. Xiaoxian's expression also changed slightly. He could see that the soul power in this Gu Leng was not weak, at least it was the strongest he had ever seen. Sure enough, he has some strength. He's actually someone who specializes in cultivating the power of the soul. Xiao Xian squinted his eyes and took a look, and roughly judged Gu Leng's methods and strength. For practitioners with strong souls, casting physical skills has almost no effect. The most convenient way to defeat such an opponent is to use the same powerful power of the soul to suppress the opponent. If it is an ordinary Kang Shen realm, facing a soul cultivator like Gu Leng may be a bit tricky. But now, the person standing in front of Gu Leng was Xiao Xian, and the situation was different. Xiao Xian had the power of the soul at the middle level of the real realm. Even if you face a 5-star strong man in the god realm, you can kill them all at will. He's so cold-blooded that defeating him is a piece of cake. Little tricks. Seeing the cold soul power on Gu Leng's body, the corners of Xiao Xian's mouth rose slightly, and he did not take these soul powers into consideration at all. On the contrary, he began to operate the soul in his body. In the meeting hall, a soul several times stronger than Gu Leng was displayed. Barely waiting for Gu Leng to react, his spirit was completely suppressed by Xiao Xian, and there was a tingling pain in the divine palace. Now, as long as Xiao Xian is willing, you can break Gu Leng's spirit at any time. Your soul power is so strong. Gu Leng was shocked. Over the years, he has rarely encountered opponents within the same realm, especially in terms of divine soul power. As long as he takes action, basically, you will not meet anyone with a soul stronger than yourself. Who would have known that just today, I would meet someone of Xiao Xian's level just after taking action? For a moment, he felt a chill on his back. I shivered. Gu Leng understood that at this time, Xiao Xian had already taken the initiative on the battlefield. As long as the latter wanted, he could kill him anytime and anywhere. This time, he also felt a hint of fear. He understands. If he continues to hold on, he may even lose his life in the end. I lost. The fight comes quickly. It ends quickly. Some disciples with average cultivation even saw Gu Leng voluntarily bowing his head and admitting defeat before he could react. This scene. On the contrary, the people next to him were secretly surprised. Long Quan and other elders' faces were as black as the bottom of a pot, as dark as they wanted. 200,000 Dao stones. Although for them, this is not a price that cannot be paid, but if they are defeated so easily, they feel it somewhat. This money is not worth spending. This is, the powerful person you selected. Zhang Fulong felt so happy. At this moment, looking at Long Quan and other elders in front of him, he felt as if he had just slapped them in the face. Long Quan and others also looked gloomy. They are as embarrassed as they want to be. I originally took it for granted. With Lin Xiaoqing, Ling Yun, and Gu Leng, they will definitely be able to slap Zhang Fulong in the face and gain the initiative for them. Who knows? Xiao Xian took action and directly defeated 2 of them. Moreover, they are still the 2 most powerful ones. This made him feel uncomfortable as if he had eaten a fly. Elder Long. Although the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce's money can be allocated, it would be a bit inappropriate if it is used against one's own people. Zhang Fulong has not forgotten. What Gu Leng just said was very clear. The reason why he took action was just for the money and Dao stone. You can guess it without saying much at this moment. The money stone must have been given by Elder Long Quan. For Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, a mere 200,000 stones is naturally nothing. But if Long Quan uses the money to target his own people and actively engage in internal fighting, Zhang Fulong will not agree. At this moment, he just sneered and mentioned. Say it. Behind the scenes. Ahem. Everyone be quiet. Gu Leng was still defeated. At this moment, in the conference hall, there were people who supported Long Quan and others, some who supported Zhang Fulong, and some neutral factions who had nothing to do with the 2. For this, there are also bright-eyed people among them. Using the Chamber of Commerce's money to hire outsiders? Such a person is not worthy of being an elder of the Chamber of Commerce. They are also members of the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. It's really outrageous. Wouldn't Elder Longquan explain it? There is no need for him to be polite. This left him speechless. Even if he wanted to explain, he didn't know where to start. They also seized this opportunity and took the initiative to attack Longquan, even calling for Longquan to give up his position as an elder. The money of the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce is all used for public use. I didn't expect Elder Longquan to be so shameless. I heard what Zhang Fulong said. Today's incident can be regarded as a warning to him. He couldn't see that this was Zhang Fulong's deliberate provocation, but he did the wrong thing first. If someone pretends to be a public servant for personal gain, goes against the will and takes the initiative to engage in internal fighting within the Chamber of Commerce, they will naturally be disgusted by them. Isn't this equivalent to the rat shit of Wanjin Chamber of Commerce? How could such a person be worthy of being the future president of the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce? Many disciple members in the meeting hall started talking about it. These neutrals are the ones that both sides value extremely and want to win over. It actually made these neutral factions a little tempted, and at the same time, their impression of Longquan and others was quite different. Young master is right. Zhang Fulong also has followers around him. Zhang Fulong's words at this time. Only then did they realize that it turned out that the elders Longquan looked sanctimonious and loyal on the surface. Are you still engaging in these internal fights? At most, it would suppress Longquan's position in the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, nothing more. I hope Wanjin Chamber of Commerce will become stronger and bigger. It is basically impossible for Longquan to lose his position as elder. Longquan's face also became gloomier. 200,000 stones. I believe that Elder Longquan, as the elder of the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, should not be a person who pretends to be a public servant. In the future, if Elder Longquan still persists in his evil intentions, he will try to disrupt his succession to the position of president of the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. Zhang Fulong also understands. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 953. Although Longquan's face was gloomy and ugly, he also understood that the matter had come to this, and if he tried to explain, it would only become darker and darker. Speaking of which, in that case, Elder Longquan, who among the three of them do you think is more suitable to participate in the Purple Chi Spiritual Mind competition? Zhang Fulong asked directly. This time, Longquan was embarrassed. He originally planned. With Lin Xiaoqing, Ling Yun, and Gu Leng, he will definitely be able to get 3 competition positions easily. Who knows? The 3 people he carefully selected were beaten to a pulp by Xiaoxian? Isn't this a slap in the face? What makes him even more uncomfortable is that if Xiaoxian wins by chance, he can still say that the opponent is lucky. Now Xiaoxian defeated his opponent so easily. What can he do? Could it be that he could still say that Xiaoxian won by luck in front of so many people in the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce? Not giving him a place in the competition? I'm afraid it's just him who is embarrassed. You 3, who wants to quit? Without any choice, Longquan could only leave this embarrassing problem to Lin Xiao and others and let them decide for themselves. For this, the faces of everyone in the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce were a little strange. I don't quite accept Longquan's approach. After all, Elder Longquan is also the president of the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, so he should undoubtedly take the initiative in selecting contestants. Now we are encountering such a situation. It should have been Longquan who came forward and personally selected a contestant. Who knows? He actually let these contestants make the decision? Isn't this shirking responsibility? I quit. Junior sister, the rest of the battle depends on you. At this time, Lin Xiao took the initiative to stand up and said, my strength is not as good as yours, so the next battle depends on you. Say it. Even Long Quan was a little surprised. Among Lin Xiao and Qing Lingyun, the former is the senior brother and the latter is the junior sister. As per normal conditions, shouldn't Lin Xiao be more powerful? Why now, it is Lin Xiao who takes the initiative to give up the opportunity to face off. Let Qing Lingyun take the initiative to fight? So Qing Lingyun is stronger than Lin Xiao? This is simply an incredible thing. Good. Senior brother. What surprised everyone even more. Qing Lingyun actually nodded in agreement, as if this was a normal thing. But Xiao Xian, who was beside him, took a look. There was a little more curiosity on his face. He has never fought against Qing Lingyun, so he doesn't know what the latter's strength is, but judging from her demeanor and expression, she shouldn't be weak. Zhang Fulong couldn't help but look at Qing Lingyun a few more times and said, in this case, today's matter is settled. The day after tomorrow, it's time for you to participate in the competition. As long as you do this well, our Wanjin Chamber of Commerce will definitely not treat you badly in the future. Thank you, young master. Thank you, young master. Thank you, young master. Xiao Xian and the other three also responded. Compared to them, the faces of Long Quan and others were not so good looking, and they all looked at each other with a bit of embarrassment. For them. Maybe others don't care. But anyone with a discerning eye can see it. This time, Long Quan had lost his reputation in the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. At least, Zhang Fulong, the young master, has already taken advantage of him once, which also shows that it will not be that simple to cause trouble for Zhang Fulong in the future. Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, Presbyterian Church. After Long Quan was slapped in the face by Xiao Xian, the atmosphere among the elders in the entire elders' hall became cold to the freezing point. Seeing Long Quan's face turned livid, several elders looked at each other, but no one dared to take the initiative to speak. What happened today has happened. What do you think? In the end, Long Quan took the initiative to ask. Hearing Long Quan take the initiative to speak, the faces of the elders relaxed slightly, and then a gray-haired elder asked, this time, the key lies in the Xiao Xian. I didn't expect that there would be such a strong man. A Kang Shen 1 star in the Blue God realm can actually defeat 2 3 stars in the Blue God realm. Yes, it's just that Zhang Fulong is lucky enough to have such a result. If not, with this Xiao Xian here today, Zhang Fulong would be humiliated today. Elder Long Quan doesn't have to be angry. Some elders said. After hearing these words, Long Quan's face did not soften, but became more and more livid. The meaning of what he just said was obvious. He just hopes that these elders can give him some help, and it is best to target Zhang Fulong and Xiao Xian. Result. These elders usually live in groups of 5 or 6. At the critical moment, no one can even say anything, but in the end, he still needs to come up with an idea. This is said rudely. Elder Long misunderstood. Indeed, although Long Quan's tone was not very good, what he said was correct. If Zhang Fulong really became a character. Are there so many of you? The eyes of all the elders were also focused on him. After all, although they were in the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce and had no dealings with Zhang Fulong, this was just an internal fight. Finally, several elders looked at each other. Looking at you, is it possible that you have a better idea? Once this matter is exposed, each of them may be a sinner of Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, so this is not a small matter. Long Quan asked directly. It's Long Quan on one side. But according to this elder's opinion, the situation is a little different. For a time. Is there no way to target Zhang Fulong? Long Quan did not refuse directly, which shows that he still has some thoughts in this regard, and even supports him in his heart. How easy is it to kill Zhang Fulong? At most it is a struggle for power. What's more, there was a bit of surprise on his face. Say it. He actually planned to fight with Zhang Fulong? What do you plan to do? Talk about it? Long Quan's face became even more ugly. You are all elders of the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. Could it be that you don't even have this ability? These elders also looked a little embarrassed. A gray-haired elder had a sinister look on his face. In that case, why don't we just fight Zhang Fulong directly? After looking the elder up and down, he said, what do you plan to do? Directly assassinate Zhang Fulong? They will all be in trouble. The elder was moved when he heard Long Quan's words. This is no small matter. He does understand. I'm afraid it will be one day in the future. No matter what, this Zhang Fulong is a very powerful figure. It is naturally not the best choice to fight him directly. Although Zhang Fulong is not a master, he is still very powerful in the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. There are many strong young people around who support him. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 954. Good. Hearing Long Quan's words, the elder looked around and said proudly, since Zhang Fulong refuses to drink wine as a penalty, then don't blame us for being rude to him, right? Hear what this elder said. Long Quan and other elders were also silent. They also know very well that if they want to bring down Zhang Fulong, perhaps letting Zhang Fulong die is indeed the most direct and effective way. But such means. It always sounds like a bit much. However, these elders can be regarded as people who have seen some things in the world, and they also understand that if Zhang Fulong really died accidentally, then there is no doubt about it. The power of Wanjin Chamber of Commerce will definitely fall into the hands of Long Quan, and the status of their elders will naturally increase. Only, there are definitely some risks involved. It depends on whether Long Quan is willing to take the risk. Elder Long Quan. The way the world is, I think burning the boat is the last option. This Xiao Xian is pretty good. He has already shined in the competition today. If he defeats his opponent in the competition this time, Zhang Fulong may even have a firm foothold in the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. Say it. But it also caused the elders to look grim. They all know it. This is true. Building trust requires accumulation day by day, but the collapse of trust only occurs in an instant. Elder Long Quan spent money to hire others to target Wanjin Chamber of Commerce's own people. This matter will soon spread within the Chamber of Commerce, and Elder Long Quan's prestige will gradually dissipate. At last, they will also be completely suppressed by Zhang Fulong. Good. When you do this, you must keep it absolutely confidential, do you understand? Long Quan looked serious. For a moment, the expressions of the elders next to him became serious. They knew that Long Quan had obviously made up his mind. The faces of these elders couldn't help but become a little more dignified. They also generally understand. A genius like Xiao Xian. In the future, if you get the right opportunity, it will be normal for you to take off. And for such a long time. They could see that the relationship between Xiao Xian and Zhang Fulong was irreversible. If Xiao Xian knew that they were going to take action against Zhang Fulong, I'm afraid Xiao Xian would definitely not stand idly by. Then the situation will become troublesome. Don't worry, elder. Of course I know about this, and I will definitely not let it out. The elder quickly assured. At this time, Long Quan was actually thinking secretly in his heart. In fact, he somewhat agreed with what the elder said. How much profit you want to get, how much risk you have to take. This is normal no matter where you are. Just don't know. In the end, can these elders successfully solve the problem of Zhang Fulong? The other side. After Xiao Xian dealt with these people, Zhang Fulong also completely regarded Xiao Xian as his partner, and finally introduced him with a smile in front of the direct relatives of Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. For this introduction, the disciples of the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce were also quite surprised. You know, although Zhang Fulong's strength is average, his status is transcendent. Vice President of Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. It is definitely extremely difficult for ordinary people to make friends with such a person, but they never expected that Zhang Fulong would value Xiao Xian so much now. Facing the concerned eyes of the previous group of people. Instead, Xiao Xian's face showed a bit of solemnity and curiosity. He knew it very well. Such concern is both a good thing and a bad thing. With Zhang Fulong's support, it would be relatively simple for him to obtain any resources within the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. But at the same time, if he is identified as a member of the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, in the future, he will also take on the responsibility of becoming a Chamber of Commerce. Don't say anything else. This time Wanjin Chamber of Commerce competes with others for the Purple Chi Spirit Mine, so he has to work hard. Rest assured. Being entrusted by others is a matter of loyalty. Since I have promised the young master, this matter will be taken care of by me. Xiao Xian smiled. This is said easily. However, some people from the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce present were secretly surprised and looked at him in disbelief. To know. Some things are not as simple as saying them. Wanglong City is not the Mingzhou territory. There are countless talented disciples here. This time, the Purple Chi Spirit Mine is of great importance, and the City Lord's Palace and Qinglei Palace will definitely send out their most elite disciples. Under such circumstances, how easy is it to defeat your opponent? However, looking at Xiao Xian's appearance now, he seems to be full of confidence. Isn't this a bit too arrogant? Young master. Purple Chi Spirit Mine is an extremely precious resource. What I mean is, should we inquire about the City Lord's Mansion and Qinglei Palace, or use some means? Maybe others will still be a little skeptical. For this, perhaps Xiao Xian will become a person who shocks the entire Wanglong City again. Just make some rough predictions. Everything in the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, as long as I can know it, Brother Xiao Xian can also know it. This time, although Brother Xiao Xian defeated Lin Xiao and Gu Leng, I heard that the City Lord's Mansion and Qinglei Palace will send core disciples to participate. Should we prepare something? This is a considerable amount of resources, enough to make many Kang God Realm crazy, and even the powerful people of the Golden God Realm tempted. Within Qinghua Academy, he is simply not ranked. Young master. Such strength. But one day in the future, he understands better the principle of not trusting people when you employ them and not trusting people when you are suspicious. Xiao Xian is a very talented person with a bright future. There are only 3 powerful people in the Golden God Realm on the Eastern Barren Continent. Therefore, this spiritual mine will not cause the powerful people in the Golden God Realm to intervene. Therefore, Wanjin Chamber of Commerce cannot sit still and wait for death. What are you preparing for? Zhang Fulong asked casually. Who would have thought that Xiao Xian would now be someone that the entire Qinghua Academy would look up to? The City Lord's Mansion and Qinglei Palace will definitely use any means necessary. A disciple came forward and asked. Zhang Fulong said loudly. Now Xiao Xian may be inconspicuous in Wanglong City. But for this spiritual mine only. He followed his father in business since he was a child. After investigation by all parties, all forces discovered that this purple spirit mine turned out to be a rich mine. But Zhang Fulong would not doubt it, because he saw with his own eyes how Xiao Xian grew up to where he is now step by step. He decided. It can also produce dozens of tons of spiritual minerals in a year. He had also investigated before. When Xiao Xian entered Qinghua Academy, he was only at the beginning of the spiritual God realm. This The disciple was stunned for a moment, and after taking a look at Xiaoxian, he seemed a little hesitant. Although he has fallen behind in terms of strength, his ability to read people is first class. At this moment, he can see what this disciple means at a glance. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 955. Means. How are you going to use your methods? Zhang Fulong is not a pedantic person. He understood that in this competition for the purple spirit mine, on the surface, all sects were competing fairly. But behind the scenes, who knows what insidious tactics they might use? Under such circumstances, the so-called strike first to gain advantage and strike later to suffer disaster is related to the interests of the entire Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. Even if you use some means, it doesn't seem to be that big of a deal. Reply to the young master. I have also investigated the disciples participating in the competition between the City Lord's Palace and King Glay Palace. Basically, they are the leaders of their own sections. The leading disciples are Mu Shaokong and Xue Qinglin. The elder said. Say it. The elders present all had strange expressions on their faces. These elders were all from Wanglong City, and they had heard of these two people. Both of them were considered talented disciples in their respective sects. For these people, Wanjin Chamber of Commerce naturally needs to be prepared. Although speaking of it, apart from Lin Xiao, Qing Lingyuan and Xiao Xian are both considered to be very capable people. But facing Mu Shaokong and Xue Qinglin, the people around Zhang Fulong were also a little more alert and dignified. What do you think? Zhang Fulong was also decisive and asked directly to the people around him. It seems that their names were included in the last list of Wanglong City's strong men, right? Good. Mu Shaokong is ranked 30th, and Xue Qinglin is ranked 39th. They are both considered strong men with good rankings in Kanshen. An elder said. Hearing this, the faces of these elders became more solemn. They also generally understand. At the same time, his eyes couldn't help but focus on Xiaoxian. It was obvious that Mu Shaokong and Xue Qinglin were both the strongest disciples in the City Lord's Mansion and King Glay Palace. There is a high probability that he is Xiaoxian's opponent. For such an opponent, Xiaoxian has finally met a real opponent, and many people have set their sights on him, wanting to see how he responds. May I ask, what is this Wanglong City strong list? Xiaoxian looked puzzled. This is a recognized ranking of strong men in Wanglong City. The sect being evaluated is Wanhua Pavilion. They evaluate each practitioner's strength based on their past performance. Zhang Fulong said, ranking 30 is already considered a good Kangshen realm powerhouse. Hear this. Xiaoxian nodded. What made him a little confused was that the people participating in the fight for the Purple Chi Spirit Mine this time should all be cultivators below 3 stars in the Blue God realm. A practitioner of this level. Can he also be ranked over 30 in Wanglong City? Isn't this a bit strange? Not to mention, people with 7 or 8 stars in the Blue God realm, even 5 stars in the Blue God realm, should be able to defeat them casually, right? I wonder, what is Elder Long Quan's rank? Xiaoxian asked. Elder Long Quan. Indeed, Elder Long Quan is also a 5-star powerhouse in the Blue God realm, but he is not on the list. Zhang Fulong explained, because elders like him are not considered true trial disciples. Finished. His face still looked more serious. However, brother Xiaoxian, if you want to fight against the people on the list, you may still need some tricks. Hear this. Xiaoxian finally understood. It turns out that elders like Long Quan are not included in the ranking list. In this case, doesn't this list of Wang Glongqing's strong men exist in name only? Just arranging young disciples? What else can such a ranking do? For a time, Xiaoxian couldn't help being stunned. I'm a little confused about the meaning of this ranking. I did not mean This list of strong men is divided according to their realm strength. They are ranked 30, but they are only ranked 30 within the 3 stars of the Blue God realm. Zhang Fulong continued. After hearing this, Xiao Xian understood. It turns out that this is what happened, but since this is the case, Xiao Xian doesn't have to worry anymore. This so-called Mu Shaokong and Shueqinglin. Among the 3-star realm of Kangshen realm, he is only ranked in the 30s. This is enough to show that their strength is not very good at all. In this case, what does Xiao Xian have to be afraid of? But he only kept this idea in mind. Didn't say it out loud. On the other hand, everyone from the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce next to them felt a little baffled when they saw Xiao Xuanyun's calm appearance. They didn't expect it. Xiao Xian could actually behave like this? From the look on his face, it seemed like he didn't take this matter to heart at all. As if it was a sure win? Isn't this a bit strange? Perhaps, Xiao Xian can defeat Lin Xiao and Gu Leng, and he does have some extraordinary strength, but now, he has not even seen Mu Shaokong and Shueqinglin, so he is so confident? Isn't this a bit strange? As for the previous situation, Xiao Xian is only 1 star of the Blue God realm. Perhaps, by relying on some strange methods, he can increase his strength to around 3 stars of the Blue God realm. But who can guarantee? Talented disciples like Mu Shaokong and Shueqinglin don't have any secret skills or methods. Brother Xiao Xian, I know your tricks, but this time Mu Shaokong and Shueqinglin are both powerful opponents in Wanglong City. You must deal with them carefully. Zhang Fulong still reminded. In front of so many people. Xiao Xian also understood that perhaps, he could not deny Zhang Fulong too much face, so he smiled and nodded. Regarding Xiao Xian's reaction, Zhang Fulong was obviously very satisfied. After nodding seriously, he began to announce other things. Xiao Xian was bored. Sitting aside, silently listening to Zhang Fulong's arrangements. After listening for a while, he realized that Zhang Fulong was not just a person who relied on his status as a young master to exert power over others. On the contrary, in dealing with business relationships and business methods, he is very skilled. He is obviously someone who has seen a lot of the world. For Xiao Xian, an outsider, to participate in the high-level meeting of Wanjin Chamber of Commerce when he first arrived, some people around Zhang Fulong were still skeptical. But seeing him just listening silently, I had no intention of participating, so I just let it go. In fact, Xiao Xian had no desire to participate in the management of Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, but a piece of news given by Zhang Fulong aroused his curiosity. Gold auction. This is the largest auction organized by the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce in more than a dozen areas near Wanglong City. There are various spiritual herbs, treasures, magic weapons, elixirs, and techniques at the auction. It is said that at this auction, a heaven-level magic weapon once appeared, although it was damaged. But it also proves the gold content of this auction. Every time, strong men from various major sects in these dozen areas would appear and take out various sect treasures. There are also some who are extremely powerful. But those who did not want to reveal their identity took out some treasures and put them up for auction. Of course, this requires the buyer to be discerning. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 956. 10,000 gold auction. It's interesting. I wonder if there's anything I need in it. Xiao Xian remembered that the system said that if you want the power of the soul to continue to become stronger, you need something called crouching dragon grass. I wonder if I can get it at auction. And his current strength is 1 star in the Blue God realm. Perhaps, he would not be afraid of people below 3 stars in the blue god realm, but with the recovery of spiritual energy, there will definitely be more and more strong ones. Therefore, he also needs to improve his strength as much as possible. Regarding the realm of the Great Road, he's not worried. This is something that needs to be done step by step. As for the soul, if you can get crouching dragon grass, it will naturally be the best. As for Tianlang's sword and Xiaolu, he believes that there is still a lot of room for improvement. If he can obtain the essence of high-level monsters or the demon pills of ancient bloodlines, his strength will definitely be greatly improved. This is very important. I just don't know if he has such luck. You are all members of our Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. Although, in terms of status, I may not be as good as those elders around Elder Longquan for the time being, but I believe that this is only temporary. Zhang Fulong looked around and said, in the future, all of you will be the elders of our Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. This was said with great force. For a moment, the faces of everyone present were somewhat shocked, but then they all looked at Zhang Fulong with longing in their eyes. They know. Zhang Fulong said this. It's not just encouragement, but more importantly, it also shows his attitude. He is not a person who gives up casually. At least, they must have a bright future following Zhang Fulong. After thinking about this, everyone's faces were also excited. Xiao Xian, on the other hand, nodded secretly from the side. He could see that Zhang Fulong's performance was still very meaningful. Just with these words, these members of the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce will probably follow him even more wholeheartedly. The method to win people's hearts is still very straightforward. It's Xiao Xian. After all these people leave, prepare to leave slowly. However, just as he stood up and prepared to leave, he suddenly felt something unusual. He found there is actually a trace of the dark devil's breath in Zhang Fulong's body. This made him frown slightly. Black magic is something born in the realm of black magic. Only practitioners who practice black magic will have this evil aura on their bodies. Zhang Fulong is only in the spiritual realm. It is impossible to practice this kind of technique, then this dark devil's aura is absolutely abnormal. Think of this. Xiao Xian couldn't help but stop. What? Is there anything else? Seeing Xiao Xian not leaving, Zhang Fulong couldn't help but ask. Young master, have you ever felt that something is wrong with you? Xiao Xian asked. On your body? It seems, there's nothing wrong, right? After listening to Xiao Xian's words, Zhang Fulong couldn't help but be stunned, and then continued, is there anything wrong? Young master, you have the aura of the dark devil on your body, Xiao Xian warned. What? Dark demon aura? How is it possible? I don't practice the dark demon, GGG, you are very discerning, but now I realize that you are a bit unlucky. I can only kill you too. Zhang Fulong's voice suddenly became weird, his face became dark and gloomy, and his voice was harsh and unpleasant. Hear this sound. Xiao Xian's expression changed instantly. It was obvious that Zhang Fulong was possessed. Soon, this strong black devil aura attracted the attention of other people in the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, and they all came to Zhang Fulong's bedroom. When seeing this scene, everyone was shocked and looked at Xiao Xian angrily. Xiao Xian, young master trusts you so much, you actually have such shameless means to deal with him. I didn't expect that you actually practiced black magic skills. Damn it, quickly remove the black magic from the young master. For such a situation, Xiao Xian did not dare to neglect, his face was solemn. He didn't have time to care about these other people, but he could feel that this dark devil's aura was far stronger than what he had encountered before. Such a powerful black magic spell. I think you must be a strong man as well. I don't know why you want to attack our young master. Hearing this, everyone in the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce was shocked. Jajajaja. Faced with Zhang Fulong, who was possessed by the Black Devil. Damn it, is he the ancestor of the Black Demon in the Dark Demon realm? You guys, it's really unbelievable to think that you can defeat me, the ancestor of the Dark Demon. A group of disciples from the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce immediately surrounded him. See this. It turns out that Zhang Fulong was possessed by a black devil. Did not expect. Zhang Fulong's face was covered with a layer of black mist, and his voice was sharp and unpleasant. Zhang Fulong's voice was filled with disdain. From the reactions of everyone in the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, he could also see that the ancestor of the Black Devil must not be weak. Xiao Xian's face was ashen and he said rudely, "If you can take the initiative to come forward, perhaps today's matter can be settled." Xiao Xian, on the other hand, looked at Zhang Fulong in front of him with a sneer, "You are very courageous. Although Wanjin Chamber of Commerce is not a sect, there are some masters in it. Aren't you afraid of retaliation? GGG, young man, have you ever heard of the reputation of the ancestor of the Black Devil?" Zhang Fulong's weird voice sounded again. "Ha ha ha." Xiao Xian said bluntly. It may not be as simple as he imagined to solve these troubles. This is almost certain. I, the ancestor of the Dark Demon, have been in the Dark Demon realm for so many years, and I have never encountered any revenge. The ancestor of the Black Devil, is he very strong? I don't care what your status is. Xiao Xian's expression also became a bit more grim. Nothing happened, but there was fear on all of their faces. At this time, if you can take the initiative to step out of the young master's body, I can let you leave safely. He originally thought that since there were so many people in the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, it would at least be quite impressive. Xiao Xian frowned slightly. "Junior, a mere one-star in the Kengshen realm is qualified to talk to me like this? Do you know my identity? Why would the ancestor of the Black Demon attack our young master? We, the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, have always been on the same page with them." Fear was written on every face. That being the case, he didn't take Xiao Xian and others to heart at all. Isn't this a bit embarrassing? The ancestor of the Black Devil. For this. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 957. You're confident. But now, I really don't know. Where does your confidence come from? Xiao Xian looked at the ancestor of the Black Demon with interest. He could tell that the ancestor of the Black Devil must have some strength, but it was not to the point that he was afraid. He can roughly understand it. Since the ancestor of the Black Devil lurked his body in Zhang Fulong. Obviously, the target should be Zhang Fulong, which is not surprising. As the young master of Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, Zhang Fulong has been doing business outside for many years, so he will naturally offend many people. Someone designed to frame him. It's also a normal thing. However, what he is curious about now is that Zhang Fulong has offended many people, but what kind of person can actually hire the ancestor of the Black Devil to assassinate him? Humph. But I don't have the heart to pay attention to this. What I want you to know is that today, your young master died in the hands of my Black Demon ancestor. Finished. Wisps of black energy emerged from Zhang Fulong's body. After that, in front of everyone, his soul became extremely weak, and finally, his head tilted and fell to the ground. See this scene. Everyone was also shocked. Even Xiao Xian didn't expect that this ancestor of the Black Devil would be so vicious, and he would kill with every move he made. Just now, he directly attacked Zhang Fulong's soul. Damn thing. Want to leave? Xiao Xian was angry. A colorful spear suddenly appeared and flew towards the direction where the Black Demon ancestor disappeared. Directly penetrated this phantom. Crush the shadow to pieces. At the same time, the Black Demon ancestor also let out a groan, obviously suffering some damage. A group of disciples from the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce also rushed over, moved towards Zhang Fulong to protect him. However, Xiao Xian stopped them. His face became more dignified and serious. He knows. Judging from the situation just now, the strength of this ancestor of the Black Demon should be at least 5 stars in the Blue God realm. And it can also condense phantoms to kill people. It shows that his soul power is very powerful, and they must be wary of such a strong person. Does your Wanjin merchant have any guards? Let the guards check carefully to see if there are any killers in the Chamber of Commerce. Xiao Xian ordered. At the same time, a force slowly condensed and protected Zhang Fulong's heart. Fortunately, he noticed it early just now. The power of the Black Devil, the ancestor of the Black Devil, has not yet eroded Zhang Fulong's heart, so there is still room for salvation. I just didn't expect it now. Now, this ancestor of the Black Devil is so cunning that he just sent a phantom to assassinate him. It surprised him. The soul is under attack. You need to use spiritual herbs or spiritual treasures to repair his soul, otherwise, it will be difficult to wake up. Xiao Xian took a look and judged Zhang Fulong's injury. Damn it! Who attacked the young master? Check, we must get to the bottom of this matter. The ancestor of the Black Demon has come to our Wanjin Chamber of Commerce? Are you guards just doing it for a living? At this time, a scolding voice sounded outside the door. Elder Long Quan led a group of people into the room. He first criticized the people outside, and then said coldly, "Say it." He actually attracted the attention of everyone around Zhang Fulong. Within the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, the relationship between Elder Long Quan and Zhang Fulong is at odds, which is a secret known to everyone. I really want to talk about it. The phantom of the ancestor of the Dark Devil. It is unimaginable that he could sneak into the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce so easily and assassinate Zhang Fulong without cooperation within the Chamber of Commerce. Moreover, Zhang Fulong had just been assassinated. Long Quan rushed over in time. Didn't he get the news in advance? Dragon power. Several cronies around Zhang Fulong had cracked eyes, almost rushing forward. However, most of their strength is at the spiritual god realm. Compared with the masters at the blue god realm on Long Quan's side, their strength is also much lower. At this moment, even if everyone is dissatisfied, there is nothing we can do. However, Long Quan looked around and saw Zhang Fulong lying in Xiao Xian's arms, not knowing whether he was alive or dead, and the corners of his mouth turned up inadvertently. Fight him. Death is the only outcome. What's going on? Long Quan asked knowingly. The ancestor of the Black Devil sneaked into our Chamber of Commerce, lurked on the young master's body with a shadow, and stabbed the young master's soul. A close friend of Zhang Fulong gritted his teeth. Stab. How so? Long Quan frowned slightly. It was just a stabbing. This result was not what he wanted. He would rather see Zhang Fulong die directly because of this, so that he can legitimately take over the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. But now, he can accept this situation. Place a reward from our Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. The whole city is searching for the ancestor of the Black Devil. Long Quan ordered with a stern face. But before he finished the order, several elders around him looked at each other, and an elder stood up. Elder Long, should you consider this matter again? Our Wanjin Chamber of Commerce has never participated in sect battles. If we arrest a sect leader, I'm afraid it will be detrimental to us. Yes, we have no evidence now. If the ancestor of the Black Devil refuses to admit it, what should we do? And Wanglong City is so big, if we search the whole city, it will be difficult to find him. Elder Long Quan had many elders around him. They also said one after another at this moment. For such a situation, the cronies around Zhang Fulong also had pale faces. They obviously understood that this was Long Quan's deliberate pretense. That's true. In that case, Let's take the young master to the hospital first and give him all our treatment. Long Quan followed the trend and said directly, recently, everyone has to work hard and block the news. We must not let others know about the attack on the young master. Do you understand? The elders around Elder Long Quan also agreed. It's Xiao Xian. After slightly glancing at Elder Long Quan, he stood there without moving, with no intention of handing Zhang Fulong over to Elder Long Quan. See this scene. Elder Long Quan also frowned slightly. Brother Xiao Xian, what are you doing? We need to find a good doctor for the young master. I'm just afraid. If I give Mr. Fulong to you, Master Fulong will die sooner. Xiao Xian said unceremoniously, so, I think it would be better for Mr. Fulong to let me treat him. Say it. It is also like a stone with 1,000 waves. Many elders looked at Xiao Xian angrily. Even the cronies around Zhang Fulong looked at Xiao Xian in surprise. They did not expect that Xiao Xian could be so direct. How dare you expose what Elder Long Quan said to his face? Isn't this equivalent to declaring war on dragon power? Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 958. Brother Xiao Xian. What do you mean? Could it be that you think Mr. Fulong's injury is related to me? Elder Long Quan narrowed his eyes and asked in a bad tone, isn't this a bit whimsical? He is a smart man. Everyone in the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce knows that. The relationship between him and Zhang Fulong is not harmonious. If he directly denies this matter, no one may believe it. But if asked directly, on the contrary, he put aside a lot of his suspicions. To this, Xiao Xian just sneered. How could he not understand what this Elder Long Quan meant? It's just that he didn't want to say more in front of so many people. Who knows? This old guy Long Quan is so shameless, questioning him in front of so many people. Could it be that you really thought he was a doormat? Can you do whatever you want? Little friend Xiao Xian. Today, if you don't tell me why, I will definitely not let you go. Long Quan saw Xiao Xian and said nothing. She took it for granted that he was scared, and sneered, don't think that because you have a good relationship with the young master, I can't do anything to you. Hear this. Xiao Xian's face was a bit more stern. I originally thought that this Long Quan was shameless, just because he didn't have the same experience as this guy. Who knows? This guy is not done yet? Is it possible that you really think he is easy to bully? In this case, it seems that he has to find a way to teach this old guy a lesson. Simply. Xiao Xian sneered and said, what? From what you're saying, is it possible that Elder Long Quan really doesn't know how the ancestor of the Black Devil came to be? Certainly. Of course I don't know. Long Quan still looked righteous and awe-inspiring. He. Xiao Xian sneered, this is interesting. The dignified Wanjin Chamber of Commerce has a black demon ancestor mixed into his sect, and he is also parasitic on the young master of the Chamber of Commerce. Don't you all know? Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, don't you have any vigilance? This. Say it. Everyone present suddenly felt a little embarrassed. Even Long Quan's face looked a little unnatural. To know. The Wanjin Chamber of Commerce is a well-known force in the entire Wanglong city, so there is no loophole in the security issue. The only thing that could have caused the current situation. There is only one reason, there is an insider. What's there to say? Long Quan was still arrogant, and naturally he didn't want to admit that he was involved in this. Then that's it? You, the ancestor of the Black Demon, and Elder Long Quan really have nothing to do with you at all. Xiao Xian did not pay attention to Long Quan's explanation, but asked, if this is the case, Elder Long Quan won't have the aura of the Dark Devil, right? Of course. I am not from the Dark Demon realm, nor have I practiced the Black Demon Kung Fu, so naturally I will not have the aura of the dark demon on my body. Long Quan's words are high-sounding. However, the expression on his face was not so relaxed, and he was obviously still a little uneasy in his heart. What if there is a dark devil's aura? Xiao Xian asked directly. Impossible. Long Quan said categorically, if there is, I will be responsible for this matter. After hearing this, Xiao Xian almost laughed. Originally, he was thinking about how to get Long Quan involved in this matter. Who knew that now, this fool would actually admit it. As long as you have the aura of the dark devil on your body, you will admit that you have something to do with him. This is a 5-star Kang Shen realm. It's downright stupid. Good. Then Elder Long Quan, do you dare to show off the power of his great avenue? Xiao Xian said directly. In front of so many people from the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, Long Quan's face was a little uncertain. At this time, if he didn't dare to summon the power of the Great Avenue, wouldn't he be bringing it upon himself? However, anyone with a discerning eye can see it. Xiao Xian must have come prepared, maybe there was a trap in front of him, waiting for him to jump. So, now he is a little hesitant. Good. I walk upright and sit upright. Since I'm not involved in these things, I naturally don't have any dark devil aura on my body. Long Quan gritted his teeth and said. After saying that, a green aura of avenue suddenly appeared from his hand. But the strange thing is, among the auras of these great avenues, there was even a slight trace of black. Although there were not many people with high cultivation level among the people present. However, most of them can see it. These black things. Isn't it just the breath of the dark devil? This, Elder Long Quan really has the aura of the dark devil on his body. How is this possible? Could it be that Elder Long Quan really found someone to assassinate the young master? If this is really the case, Elder Long Quan is so abominable. Among those present, there are still many neutral people. At this moment, everyone saw the aura of the dark devil on Long Quan's body, and they all cast doubtful eyes on him. After all, no one wants to believe it. Everything in front of me is real. Elder Long Quan, how do you explain this? Xiao Xian asked with a smile. Do you want to say that these are all coincidences? How is this possible? I really didn't participate in this kind of thing. Why is there such a thing on my body? The Black Devil's aura, could it be that someone else is parasitic on me? Long Quan was also surprised. That panicked look didn't seem fake. However, the more he behaves like this, the more hypocritical it makes people feel. After all, the real facts are here. Even a fool can imagine that it is impossible for the Black Demon Realm to assassinate Elder Long Quan and Zhang Fulong at the same time. Then there is only one possibility. Elder Long Quan, who had always been at odds with Zhang Fulong, hired people from the Black Demon Realm to assassinate Zhang Fulong. This is also the only explanation. The ironclad evidence is right in front of you. Even if Elder Long Quan wanted to explain, he had no choice but to say more. He could only keep a dark face, a bit like breaking the pot. See this. Xiao Xian's face became a bit more stern. He knew very well that if Long Quan really turned against him, he could solve this big trouble. But there's a lot of trouble that follows. There was nothing he could do. In addition, Zhang Fulong is still injured and in a coma, so perhaps the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce is about to face a crisis. Now, the best way is to let Long Quan retreat without being too arrogant. In this way, perhaps the situation can still be stabilized. Elder Long Quan, do you have anything else to explain? Xiao Xian asked politely, could it be that you want to say that these dark demon auras all appeared out of thin air? I really don't know this. Long Quan was really embarrassed. At this moment, facing the person in front of him, he didn't know what to say. In the end, he could only keep a dark face and stop talking. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 959. Elder Long Quan. Don't you want to explain it? Yes, we always thought that Elder Long Quan was a kind elder. Who knew that he would do such a thing? Now, our top priority is to save young Master Fulong. In the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. In addition to the disciples who support Zhang Fulong and Long Quan, there are also the disciples of the Chamber of Commerce who have always remained neutral. However, after experiencing the two recent incidents, these disciples have roughly seen through Long Quan's character. Many people have already taken the initiative to lean towards Zhang Fulong. It's the people from Elder Long Quan's side. After what happened to Long Quan several times, he became a little dissatisfied with him, although he didn't say it on the surface. But everyone is somewhat dissatisfied in their hearts. At this moment, needless to say, Long Quan himself felt a little uneasy and didn't know how to face such a situation. I'm going to treat young Master Fulong. As for how you deal with traders within the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, that is your own business. Xiao Xian was too lazy to intervene in this matter. He knows. As long as Zhang Fulong is cured, the latter will naturally do this well, and he won't have to worry about other things. Now, seeing Long Quan hesitating, Xiao Xian smiled instead. He knew very well that as far as the current situation was concerned, although it was not good for Long Quan, it was not that simple to completely solve this trouble. It would be better to just let him leave. Settle accounts after the fall. Elder Long Quan, I want to treat the young master. I don't want to get involved in the affairs of your Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, nor do I want to interfere. Xiao Xian expressed his attitude directly. Hear these words. Long Quan's face was also uncertain. In the end, he could only glare at Xiao Xian, turned around and left angrily. After Long Quan left with a group of elders, the people present also focused their attention on Xiao Xian again. Especially the cronies around Zhang Fulong. Now, they all regard Xiao Xian as their backbone. They gather around Xiao Xian and look at him eagerly. Here, let me try. Xiao Xian also understood that these people wanted him to take action to save and cure Zhang Fulong. But now, even if he wanted to refuse, these Zhang Fulong's cronies would not agree, and most of them had already concluded that Xiao Xian could definitely cure Zhang Fulong. But he has a golden prescription. Xiao Xian was somewhat confident about curing Zhang Fulong, so he simply walked to Zhang Fulong's side. Since getting the $1 million prescription, Xiao Xian would spend time studying some every night, and he found that what he got was only the second half of the 10,000 gold prescription. According to the above record, the 10,000 gold prescription is divided into two parts, upper and lower parts. The upper part is used to poison people, while the lower part is used to cure diseases and save people. When old man Tianyang created the 10,000 gold prescription, he divided it into two parts because he was afraid that someone in the future would have evil intentions and get the two parts at the same time, harm others and then threaten others to save them. This will only bring disaster to the eastern wilderness continent. Therefore, he chose to divide the 10,000 gold prescription into two parts. And what Xiao Xian got was the second half of the 10,000 gold prescription, and the things on it were basically used to save people. He remembers. In the second half of Wanjin's prescription, there is an acupuncture technique called Shengi 9 needles, which is specially used to stabilize the soul. Just used to treat Zhang Fulong now. Go and get me 9 silver needles. Xiao Xian said directly, I want to use the silver needle to help your young master stabilize his soul. He said this. It actually attracted the attention of many people from the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. Speaking of which, These people from the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce are well informed, but they have never heard of the method of using silver needles to restore the soul. They also looked at each other for a while. A bit overwhelmed. Seeing everyone's appearance, Xiao Xian asked instead, "What? With your attitude like this, do you really think there is another way to do this?" After saying this, everyone present was at a loss what to say. They all know that under the current situation, they really have no other choice but to treat the situation like a dead horse. "Thank you so much, Mr. Xiao Xian." "Yes. Zhang Fulong's soul has been damaged. If he wants to be cured, he must first completely remove the mark of the dark devil from his body. Silver needle enters the body. This is also the present moment." Then, he tore off the clothes on Zhang Fulong's upper body and arranged the 9 silver needles in order to prepare for treatment. It's like a 9-root treatment method. Then, with a box of silver needles, he carefully handed it to Xiao Xian. "It really works. It's amazing. It turns out that brother Xiao Xian is not only very powerful, but he can also cure diseases. But what can be seen is, by such means, like a herd of driven sheep, the mark of the black devil came to Zhang Fulong's left index finger honestly. What Xiao Xian needs to do most? Take out a piece of spiritual grass from the space magic weapon. The mark of the dark devil on Zhang Fulong's body has indeed dissipated a lot, which shows that this treatment method is very useful." Xiao Xian swallowed it in one gulp. But then, everyone discovered that these black demon marks began to slowly dissipate. Either stabbing, poking, penetrating flesh and blood, or just trying to stop, appearing on Zhang Fulong's body in different forms. The disciples of Wanjin Chamber of Commerce were also surprised. The weak soul just recovered a little, and he could barely cheer up. He continued to concentrate on driving away these black demon marks. At this moment, the power of his soul gradually condensed, wrapped in a silver needle, and slowly stabbed a large acupuncture point on Zhang Fulong's back. The dark mark of the black devil trembled as if it was under attack. He gave it a cursory check. Xiao Xian drove away most of his disciples. All the disciples of Wanjin Chamber of Commerce also looked at Xiao Xian nervously, hoping that Xiao Xian could take action to cure Zhang Fulong. At the same time, the souls of Xiao Xian and Zhang Fulong were also greatly consumed. A disciple left in a hurry. 9 silver needles. After pricking with 9 silver needles, the mark of the dark devil was also forced into a corner, and the silver needle was like a cage, tightly trapping the mark of the dark devil. He discovered that Zhang Fulong had several black marks of the dark devil on his body, which should have been left by the ancestor of the dark devil before he left his body. In front of the sharp silver needle. It is also these dark demon marks. Spiritual soul grass. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 960. Xiao Xian took out the knife and gently opened Zhang Fulong's index finger. A stream of dark blood spurted from it. The disciples of the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce quickly took out the water basin and then looked at the two of them carefully. Sure enough, I found it. The color on Zhang Fulong's face slowly returned. Seeing this scene, everyone also breathed a sigh of relief and cast admiring glances at Xiao Xian. Thank you, Mr. Xiao Xian. If Mr. Xiao Xian hadn't been here, I'm afraid it would have been really dangerous this time. Yeah, who would have thought that the ancestor of the Black Devil would sneak into our Wanjin Chamber of Commerce? It's quite surprising. A group of disciples discussed. They also expressed their gratitude to Xiao Xian. Master Fulong's soul is not very powerful. After being injured this time, some means are still needed to treat him. Xiao Xian said, you need to prepare some herbs or pills to repair the soul. Regarding Xiao Xian's words, naturally, all the disciples nodded one after another and went to prepare. Originally, when Xiao Xian treated Zhang Fulong, a lot of his soul power was consumed. Was planning to take a break. Unexpectedly. After a while, Zhang Fulong woke up and turned around. When he saw that he was safe and sound, there was a look of surprise on his face. He remembered clearly that after he was possessed by the ancestor of the Black Devil, his whole body seemed to be out of control. He passed out directly. He originally thought, with his strength, being possessed and attacked by a strong man like the Dark Demon ancestor would be a disaster. Did not expect. Now you are still safe and open your eyes? This really surprised him. Even his face was full of shock, and he couldn't believe what he was seeing. I really want to talk about it. Unless there is a truly powerful doctor, he is really in danger. But I didn't expect that Xiao Xian had such a powerful method and could cure the Dark Devil's aura on his body. Brother Xiao Xian, I didn't expect you. Zhang Fulong's face was filled with gratitude. No big deal. It's just that the power of the soul in your body has been eroded, and it will take some time to recover. Xiao Xian said, judging from the current situation, the power of the soul in your body has been damaged. Although I used silver needles to remove the dark energy from your body, you still need to slowly recover on your own. Thank you. This time, I really want to thank you. Hearing Xiao Xian's words, Zhang Fulong was naturally grateful. He could feel that Xiao Xian indeed spent a lot of energy in the treatment just now. If he hadn't taken the initiative to save him. Now, Zhang Fulong is afraid that he will really encounter a life and death crisis. You are welcome. In the past few days, I have also been taken care of by Mr. Fulong in the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. This is as it should be. Xiao Xian also said directly. Say it. Zhang Fulong felt even more comfortable. Over such a long time, he has met many talented experts and disciples. However, although each of these disciples is not weak in strength, they are even more unruly. For a businessman like him. But there weren't many polite words. Where can there be a practitioner like Xiao Xian who is so polite even when facing him? Moreover, Xiao Xian's talent is so strong, this is simply a treasure. Well. By the way, if my inference is correct, the ancestor of the Black Devil should be attracted by Elder Long Quan this time. Xiao Xian reminded. Hear this answer. There was not much surprise on Zhang Fulong's face. After all, he is also the young master of the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, so he naturally has answers to these questions. In fact, Elder Long Quan has been targeting him. He is in it, so he naturally understands it, but there has been no absolute evidence. He was also somewhat helpless. It's a pity that there is no evidence. If there was evidence. Don't wait for Zhang Fulong to finish speaking. Xiao Xian said directly, before, I asked Elder Long Quan to demonstrate the power of the great Dao in him, and I saw the aura of the Dark Devil from him. Hear this. Zhang Fulong was stunned for a moment. I couldn't believe my ears. Dark Devil's breath? Or is it the Dark Devil's aura found on Elder Long Quan? Is this true? If this is true, doesn't it prove that Elder Long Quan really colluded with the ancestor of the Black Devil? Can Elder Long Quan really be so stupid? If that's the case, isn't Elder Long Quan just looking for death? This is real. Is what you said true? Zhang Fulong's face instantly became solemn, and at the same time, he was extremely excited in his heart. He didn't expect that. In the end, there is such a good thing. For such a long time, what he has been thinking about is how to find a way to find out the truth about Elder Long Quan. It's a pity that Elder Long Quan is indeed cunning. Zhang Fulong has never been given any chance. Unexpectedly, he would do such a stupid thing now. Dark Demon Realm. This is an area near Wanglong City that most areas hate. It's not because the Black Demon Realm is weak, on the contrary, the Black Demon Realm's strength is considered the strongest in the vicinity. It's just that because there are various practitioners of black magic techniques in the black demon realm. This black magic technique is extremely cruel. It is said that during the process of cultivation, the cultivator needs to kill many other cultivators to extract their heart blood. Practice this. Although the strength increases very quickly, it comes at the cost of damaging the lives of cultivators. From this point of view, it is enough to arouse the anger of ordinary cultivators. However, the dark demon realm is very powerful. General geography is no match. For these forces, they can only secretly complain and dare not confront them head-on, that's all. But now the dark demon realm has become bolder. He actually took the initiative to assassinate him. As the young master of the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, Zhang Fulong must not sit back and wait for death. Otherwise, in the future, the dark demon realm wouldn't just step on his neck and shit and pee. Over the years, Wanjin Chamber of Commerce is somewhat famous in Wanlong City, and Zhang Fulong also has some power. Even if you can't deal with the dark demon realm, could it be that he can't even deal with Elder Long Quan in his own Chamber of Commerce? If this is really the case, he, the young master of the Chamber of Commerce, is a bit too useless. Good. Since Long Quan himself is shameless. If you do anything like colluding with outsiders, don't blame me for being rude to you. Zhang Fulong looked gloomy and said to Ding Er beside him, "Go and take out my father's president's order and hold a Chamber of Commerce meeting." After hearing this, Er Ding's expression also changed. He knows that this president's order is the most important thing in the entire Chamber of Commerce. Once it appears, it means that something important is going to happen in the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce.